Welcome to the Deep Dive. We sift through sources to bring you the core insights. Today, we're exploring Tibetan numerology. It's a deep dive for the learner and all of us, focusing on interpretations for someone born September 14th, 1990. We're calling them Soul Traveler.
Yeah, and we've got quite a stack of interpretations here. They cover, well, pretty much everything. Life path, soul urge, personality, expression.
Maturity, birthday, challenges, karma, even the current name and balance numbers.
Exactly. And we'll also peek at hidden passion, the intuitive number, and then zoom into the present, September 2024's personal month, and the whole vibe for 2024 with the personal year.
Right. So our goal here is really to pull out the key themes, the main messages for Soul Traveler across all these different angles. It's a shortcut to understanding what these readings might be pointing towards.
And it's fascinating how even with different calculation methods sometimes, you often find these recurring threads, these common energies popping up.
Okay, let's get into it. Where should we start? Maybe the foundation? Yeah. The life path number?
Good place to start. The main interpretation points to a life path number 6. Now, in the Tibetan context, that's pretty significant. It strongly suggests themes like nurturing, seeking harmony, a real sense of responsibility.
And it links to interconnectedness, right? I saw mentions of the mandala analogy.
Precisely. The mandala representing the whole universe and our part in it. And also the bodhisattva idea, someone working for the enlightenment of everyone. So a life path 6 often means a life geared towards others' well-being.
That interconnectedness idea, like the mandala pieces, really paints a picture. But the readings also mention potential, well, downsides, like maybe giving too much.
Yes, the tendency towards people-pleasing can be a challenge. A core lesson for a life path 6 is finding that sweet spot, balancing caring for others with crucial self-care. It's about inner peace and contributing outwardly.
Makes sense. And interestingly, the capstone number, sort of the life's ultimate focus, is also a 6.
It is, which really doubles down on those themes of harmony and balance. But through the Tibetan lens, it might lean less towards, say, domestic harmony and more towards a bigger picture. Think cosmic harmony, balancing universal forces, justice, that kind of thing.
So a foundation of care elevated to a broader quest for equilibrium. Okay. What about the inner world? What drives Soul Traveler deep down?
That brings us to the soul urge number, calculated from the name's vowels. It comes out as a 9. This speaks volumes about compassion, universal understanding, and a deep spiritual yearning.
A 9. So that's the humanitarian energy.
Very much so. The interpretations mention things like the 9-pointed star and, again, the bodhisattva archetype. It signals this powerful drive to serve, to connect with something bigger, the challenge. Sometimes idealism bumps up against, reality.
That fits the bodhisattva ideal, wanting to ease suffering everywhere. Okay, so that's the inner core. How might they present themselves outwardly?
For that, we look at the personality number. Using a hypothetical name, Anya Sharma, for the calculation, it lands on a 1. This suggests someone who appears independent, a natural leader, maybe a bit of a pioneer.
A1. So quite different from the 9. Inside, more assertive.
Exactly. Think fire element energy initiating action, or the sun radiant, self-starting. Potential hurdles could be impatience, maybe appearing a bit dominant. The key, especially from a Tibetan view, would be balancing that 1 energy with the 9's compassion.
So a core of universal compassion, presented with independence and drive. How do those energies blend in terms of their overall potential, their life's work?
That's where the expression number comes in, calculated from the full name, and guess what? It's another 6.
It's back to 6. Harmony, balance, nurturing.
Right back there. It reinforces that interconnectedness and maybe a sense of karmic balance actions having consequences are central to how they operate in the world. The caregiver archetype pops up again. And the potential challenge, maybe taking on too much responsibility.
It really feels like this caring theme is just woven all the way through. Does this energy change or mature over time?
Well, the maturity number, which reflects energies coming to the forefront later in life, is also a 6.
Wow. So it intensifies.
It suggests it blossoms, yes. Those themes of service, contribution, helping others, they likely become even more central. The compassionate bodhisattva idea comes up again here, along with the earth element grounding that service. But the need for balance, that remains crucial.
So from start to finish, this nurturing, balancing energy seems paramount. What about the specific day they were born, the 14th?
Good question. The birthday number itself derived from the 14th, which reduces to 5, but one interpretation specifically highlights the 6 energy again here. It just keeps echoing harmony, balance, nurturing.
Any specific symbols associated with that?
Yes, the earth element again, the caregiver, peacemaker archetype, and interestingly, the lotus flower symbolizing purity growing out of difficulty. And there's that recurring lesson, the balance of giving and receiving, like a gardener tending their plot.
That gardener analogy really sticks, needing to tend yourself too. Does that relate to the challenge number?
Directly. The challenge number also shows up as a 6. This pinpoints the core tension, the deep compassion versus the absolute need for self-care. Navigating that is likely a major life lesson for Soul Traveler.
So the challenge is the balance itself.
Exactly. The gardener analogy is used here too. Gotta nourish yourself to nourish others. It might also suggest careers in helping fields, but with a strong caution about setting healthy boundaries.
So important. And karma. Does the karma number shed light on this?
It does, and again, it's a 6. This frames the journey as a kind of chosen path to really master unconditional love and responsibility. There's even a parallel drawn with Chenrezig, the Tibetan bodhisattva of compassion.
Chenrezig, that's powerful.
It highlights inherent strengths and empathy, but underscores that core purpose, balancing self-care and selfless service. And yes, the gardener analogy makes another appearance.
Okay, this repetition is undeniable. Balance, service, nurturing. 6, 6, 6. What about the name they use, Soul Traveler? Does that carry energy too?
According to the interpretations, yes. The current name number, calculated from Soul Traveler, also comes out as a 6.
Unbelievable.
I know, right? This interpretation connects it to Green Tara, another bodhisattva known for compassion and swift help. We see the mandala analogy again, the earth element.
Yeah.
It just keeps reinforcing the core themes.
And the name itself, Soul Traveler.
Exactly. There's an inherent balance suggested right there. The inner spiritual quest of the soul and the outer experience, the journey of the traveler. It kind of sums it up.
It really does. Okay, one more number focus on balance itself. The balance number, let me guess.
You got it. It's a 6. Derived from the birth date, this number is all about finding equilibrium. The interpretations mention the 6 petals of the lotus, the earth element again, the loving parent archetype.
All pointing to that need for harmony and nurturing.
Precisely. And highlighting once more the potential pitfall of people-pleasing and the lifelong task of creating harmonious environments inside and out.
It's like a constant reminder from the universe. Find your balance, nurture, connect. Okay, let's shift gears slightly. Are there any hidden drivers, maybe less obvious energies?
There are. The hidden passion number, derived from the birth month and day, reveals a 5. This brings in a different flavor, a desire for freedom, change, adventure.
5. That's movement.
Right. Interestingly, one reading still links it to the earth element, but also Vayu, the Hindu wind god. It suggests adaptability, a need for variety, strong communication skills, the potential challenge, maybe getting easily distracted or acting impulsively due to that desire for novelty.
So underneath all that steady 6 energy, there's this undercurrent of wanting freedom and exploration. Interesting contrast. What about intuition?
The intuitive number calculation we have uses that hypothetical name Tenzin Wangmo and a specific method resulting in a 7. Now, a 7 points strongly towards introspection, spiritual seeking, connecting with subtle energies.
So seeker, the mystic.
Kind of. Think hermit or sage archetypes, seeking wisdom in quiet places like sacred mountains. A real thirst for knowledge, but maybe also a tendency towards isolation. But we have to stress this depends heavily on the actual full name and the calculation used.
Right, good point. It's an illustration based on assumptions.
Yeah.
Okay, let's bring it to the present and near future. What's the energy like right now, say September 2024?
The personal month number for September 2024 is a 5. That connects directly back to that hidden passion 5 we just talked about, freedom, change, movement.
This is an active month, potentially.
Very likely. It's linked to the air element, the explorer visionary archetype, the wind analogy. Could mean travel, new people, maybe even career shifts. A dynamic time for Soul Traveler.
Sounds like a month to embrace change. And the whole year, 2024.
The personal year for 2024 is a master number 22. The master builder. This is a big one. Huge potential, but also significant responsibility.
Master builder, like creating something tangible.
Exactly. The great stupa analogy is used, building something lasting, meaningful. While 22 reduces to 4, grounding, structure, the master number itself amplifies visionary thinking, collaboration, the power to leave a real legacy. It's a potent year.
The 22 year sounds intense.
Yeah.
In a good way, hopefully. Now, before we wrap up, you mentioned something earlier about the life path calculation. a master number possibility there too.
That's right. We focus on the life path 6, as that was prominent. But in numerology, if the numbers you add up for the life path first sum to 11 or 22, those are master numbers and often aren't reduced further.
And soul travelers' birthday numbers, could they add up to one of those?
Depending on the specific addition method, adding digits individually versus grouping day, month, year first, yes, the initial sum could potentially be 11. And indeed, one interpretation specifically calculates it as a life path 11.
Okay, so what does a life path 11 signify, if that's the case?
Life path 11 is about heightened intuition, deep spirituality, often visionary leadership. The archetype shifts more towards an intuitive guide or compassionate healer, which still connects to that bodhisattva energy we saw with the 6 and 9.
But it's a different flavor than the 6.
Definitely. It carries intense intuitive insight, but also potential for high emotional sensitivity, even vulnerability. A key task for an 11 is learning to manage that powerful energy. Think of a strong river, huge potential, but needs careful direction.
So Soul Traveler might resonate strongly with either the nurturing, balancing 6 or the intuitive, visionary 11 as their core life path, depending on the numerological perspective.
Precisely. It adds another layer, highlighting that intense intuitive capacity alongside the themes of harmony and service. It just shows how multifaceted these interpretations can be.
Okay, so pulling it all together, the picture emerging for Soul Traveler is, well, consistently pointing towards harmony, balance, nurturing, and service, often with a deep spiritual layer, and this constant theme of needing to balance looking after others with looking after themselves.
Absolutely. And then layered on top, or perhaps woven through, is that potential for the powerful intuition and visionary quality of a master number 11 life path.
It's a rich tapestry, but it's crucial to remember, as you always say, these are potential energies, tendencies, not set-in-stone destinies.
Exactly right. Life is complex. Choices matter immensely. Numerology is just one lens, one language for exploring potential patterns.
So for you listening, for the learner engaging with this, considering these different angles on Soul Traveler's potential path, what clicks most for you? What resonates with how you see life's journey unfolding? And maybe what other languages beyond numbers do you find insightful for understanding your own path? It's about using these tools without being boxed in by them. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.